Hey y'all, welcome to today's video. It is January, so you know what that means. It's pantry challenge time. So I started this a few years ago when I saw Three Rivers Homestead doing their pantry challenge in January and February of every single year. Now, she has a homesteading channel, which I hope to be doing more content like that, but she cans and preserves a lot of the food that they eat, and she does a lot of like from scratch pantry meals, and I love that about her videos. My pantry challenge is not like that. I do garden and I do preserve some, and I am trying to do more and more every single year, just kind of like slowly building my way up to doing more. So I do have some stuff that I've preserved from the garden last year, and then some just regular pantry stuff and freezer stuff and actually fridge stuff that I am going to be using up in my pantry challenge. Basically, she just says that you make the rules for your pantry challenge. The rules for my pantry challenge this year, I'm just gonna have two of them, and the first one is going to be going grocery shopping every other week. Now, there are some people with their pantry challenge that they do not go shopping at all during January and February, and that's just not realistic for me and what I preserve and keep in our home. So I'm gonna be going grocery shopping every other week. I did this a long time ago, like regularly, and I really liked it because one, it saved me time in planning. I feel like maybe ended up doing the same amount of planning, but definitely time in driving and going to get the groceries. And then I do feel like it helped me use up the stuff more all throughout the year. So I want to get back to that. So that's my rule number one, grocery shopping every other week. I did it 2 weeks ago and like one time before that, and I'm really wanting to stick with it. So second rule is going to be using up at least 10 items from my fridge, freezer, or pantry that have been like sitting there and I didn't have like planned to use. I'm going to use 10 things up at least every single week in January and February. Now, I don't know if I'll run out of stuff, because if I run out of stuff that's like been in there a while, I'll just start using up some of the other stuff that I have like stored, and then I'll just replace it because it's good to cycle through like food storage type things anyways. So I'm gonna go through with you in this video just like the 10 things that I'm gonna be using up this week. And I'm not going to be doing a video every single week. I'll probably do one for sure at the end of February, and we'll see if I get to one at the end of January. But those are my two rules. Let me know down in the comments if you're doing a pantry challenge and what your rules are. Also, check out Three Rivers Homestead and her videos. They are really great. Okay, so I've already kind of been doing this ever since the holidays got over, because January is a really good time for me to do a pantry challenge because we end up accumulating different things for the holidays and for like kids' Christmas break that I think I'm going to use and make, and then I don't end up doing that. So I really like to be able to do that. Plus, I do garden, and so getting rid of all of that stuff and using it up that I preserved from last year and getting ready for the next big growing season. So I have already used up this brownie mix that I had sitting in the pantry and some peppers. I think I've done 2 bags of peppers that I had chopped up already, and I've just been throwing them in different meals that we've been having. So that's been really good to use those up. So now on to the list of 10 things that I'm using up this week. Starting off with number 1 and number 2, I got these spices from the library. So our local library does like recipes where they give spices. I think these two were just spices that they gave out that they said you could use on whatever. I think they gave ideas, but I decided to do some sourdough crackers and put the spices on top of them. And this is the first time that I did sourdough crackers, and it was a real big hit in my family. So I am really excited to add this to the list of things that I make with my sourdough. I am slowly trying to do more stuff with that as well. Next, I've got a bunch of zucchini already sectioned off in these bags in my freezer that I shredded and froze last year. This works out so well for like zucchini bread or muffins, that kind of stuff. And I just thaw it and put it in zucchini bread. So I'll be using 3 bags for a batch of like 2 little loaves of zucchini bread. So I'll get 3 of those out of the freezer, and I'll probably be making lots more zucchini bread and muffins throughout January and February, but that's okay. My family loves it. And then I also have these 2 little packs of chocolate chips that need to be used up, so I am going to be throwing those into the zucchini bread to use up. Next, we have 2 bags of frozen corn. So 2 of these bags works out perfect for a dinner for my family. And I actually just did it so easy this past year, and this is how I'm going to be preserving corn unless I try to can some this year. But I did not blanch it. I did nothing. I just cut it off the cob and I put it right into freezer bags. I did read that you have to use it sooner so it doesn't last like a full year. So I did say that I need to use it by January, so I'm trying to use up the last little bit of the corn that I have in the freezer. Okay, like I said, some of this stuff is stuff that I have preserved from my garden, but some of it is just stuff that I have bought that I thought we were gonna use sooner and has just been sitting there. So some of that is these 3 yogurts. I bought a bunch of yogurt for when my kids were out of school for Christmas break, and these have just been sitting in there and they are going to expire January 23rd, so I need to go ahead and use them up. So I'm just going to put them in some smoothies this week for my kids and I. And then along with smoothies, I am going to use up this bag of kale, and I like to put some of this into smoothies as well, so I'll use this up in the smoothies. The next 2 things on the list are going to be things that I thought that I was going to use like around the holidays and when people were home more, but we ended up just having so much food, like leftovers that I had cooked for us as a family or for like getting together with people, and then we brought home for leftovers that we were just eating up. So I got this goat cheese apple pie flavor from Aldi to use for some crackers. So I am just gonna go ahead and open this and just use it for a couple of lunches, or maybe I'll open it like for dinner and I'll just have some for dinner. I did get these bags of like pretzel bites. No, they're like pretzel crackers basically, and they're gonna go so good on these. I mean, these have been getting eaten up, but it'll go good with this as well. The next thing is this pack of biscuits. I thought that I would like get up early and make a breakfast for us, but that just didn't end up happening. So I planned to have breakfast for dinner one day this week, and this is going to be part of that dinner. And then number 10 for this week is going to be this loaf of sourdough bread from Aldi. So since I don't go to Aldi all the time, I do stock up on bread and I'll put it in another bag in the freezer to store for later. And so I need to use up some of the loaves that I have in there. So I'm gonna be taking this out and we'll use this up pretty quick. All right, that's it for everything for week 1 of my pantry challenge for January and February. Feel like it's going to be really simple this year, but really help me and then help me try to keep on that habit of going to the grocery store every 2 weeks. And I think that's really going to help us in time and money in the long run. Like I said, let me know down in the comments if you're doing a pantry challenge right now and what your rules are. I would love to know. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.